If you want some inspiration in the kitchen, then stay with us because today we are in the kitchen with Claire Jones from Mushrooms Canada. On the menu is baked mushroom and leek risotto, an easy version of the classic Italian dish. Mild flavoured leeks combine with wonderful woodsy shiitake mushrooms to create a delicious treat. Serve with a green salad or as an accompaniment to veal or chicken, and you have the perfect meal.
Hi, I'm Claire Jones from Mushrooms Canada. Today I'm going to be making baked mushroom and leek risotto. I've already cut my leeks up, and it's actually just one leek, and you'd cut the green part off and the root off and then slice it down the middle and then wash it really well because leeks tend to get quite sandy, so you want to make sure you get all that sand out of there. And then you can just slice it thinly as I've done here. Now I'm going to put a tablespoon of oil into a frying pan and add my leeks to that, and 2 cloves of garlic, and then just saute that for about 5 minutes or until the leeks are tender. While the leeks are sauteing, put 2 cups of chicken broth into a saucepan and just bring that to the boil. I'm now going to add a cup of arborio rice. Arborio rice is a special rice from Italy, and this is the kind you always use in risotto. So you can't use just a regular long grain rice. Make sure you do buy arborio for this. And we're just going to cook this over medium heat for about 1 to 2 minutes. And that just lets the rice absorb some of the oil that's in the pan and the flavor of the garlic and the leek. Now I'm going to add a quarter of a cup of dry white wine to this. If you don't want to use wine or you don't have any on hand, you could just use some chicken broth, and a pinch of salt and some freshly ground pepper. And again, you're going to cook this for about 1 or 2 minutes, and just until the rice has absorbed most of the wine. Now I'm going to transfer this mixture to an oven-proof casserole dish. About a 2-quart or 2-liter size is about right. Just put that all in there. And to that I'm going to add the hot broth that I've had brought to the boil on the stove. And just give that a stir. And put a lid on it. And that goes in the oven for about 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Now I'm going to saute some mushrooms while my risotto is cooking in the oven. I'm using a couple of different kinds of mushrooms today. I'm just going to add a tablespoon of oil to the same pan that I cooked the rice and the leeks in, and that way it picks up some of the flavor that's left in the pan of the rice and the leeks and the garlic, and you actually don't have to do the dishes again, so it's handy. I'm using shiitake mushrooms and oyster mushrooms in this risotto, and you can really use whatever you like, but it is really a nice combination. And this is a shiitake mushroom, and what you need to do is just cut the stems off because they are quite woody, and you can save those and use them in a soup or a stew or a broth, and it really enhances the flavor. And the other mushroom I'm using is an oyster mushroom, and an oyster mushroom looks like this, and it has a really nice sort of mild flavor. So we'll just saute those for about 5 minutes or until they're tender, and then we'll put a lid on it and just set them aside until our risotto is ready. So what I'm going to do now is just stir in a quarter cup of cream, and this is the 18% cream or table cream, and 2 tablespoons of chopped parsley, and of course our mushrooms. And just stir that all together, and we'll put the lid back on, and that'll sit for about 5 minutes just until the cream has been absorbed. Our risotto is ready, so now we're going to put it into serving bowls and garnish it. So just spooning it into bowls. It makes 2 meal-sized servings or 4 side dish servings. So you can either serve this with a green salad as a meal, or it can be a side dish with chicken or veal or pork. And to make it really delicious, we're going to put shaved Parmesan cheese on that. And both Parmesan cheese and mushrooms have something called umami. And umami is the fifth taste, and it really enhances the flavor of whatever you're eating. So it makes it, with the mushrooms and the Parmesan, this is really delicious. And there we have our baked mushroom and leek risotto. Remember, Canadian mushrooms are fresh, simple, and good. For this recipe and more nutritional information, go to mushrooms.ca.